I got so much going on today. Finalizing GrayPath. I needed to take a step back and have the documentarian, the scribe, walk me through my story. Not the last 6 months under extreme pressure, forced evolution, if you will. Not the last 6 years in the basement. No, let's go back 36 years. Here's the evolution, the tool that I've created out of biological imperative. I was finalizing formal data specifications. I'm the first data packet submitted. The canon is frozen. The Constitution is frozen. Version 1. Nearly complete. How do I get back to think about the past, but not just think about it, feel it from a different, with a different amygdala? Yes, I said that. And every word of it.
The GrayPath chronicles the genesis of empirical sciadality, the architecture of restraint. The GrayPath could not ask others to separate observation from interpretation if it could not separate its own architecture from its own imagination. The genesis of the GrayPath Data Specification, GPDS, marked a fundamental shift from organic expansion to rigorous structural self-governance. Recognizing that intuition and unconstrained conceptual growth inevitably lead to interpretive drift, the project instituted a constitutional framework designed to isolate meaning, eliminate implicit dependencies, and subject every ontological commitment to falsifiable testing. The 4 pillars of the GPDS. Through systematic reduction, the architecture collapsed into 4 distinct layers, each answering one, and only one, fundamental question. Chapter. Core question. Primary function. 1. Recognition. What exists? Ontological commitment. A closed set of primary semantic categories, acknowledging presence and absence without yet defining meaning. 2. Definition. What is it? Strict, isolated descriptions of categories that must survive the isolation test, and 7 rigid screening questions. 3. Relationship. How do those things relate? Externalized mapping governing the interactions between categories, keeping definitions strictly non-relational. IV. Behavior. What may or must happen. Operational dynamics and state transitions, entirely decoupled from foundational definitions. Constitutional guardrails. To prevent semantic leakage and circular dependencies, the specification enforces strict invariance. The closed set primary categories cannot be casually added. Ontology evolution requires explicit versioning. Non-relational definitions. Definitions are descriptive, but strictly prohibited from referencing other categories. The isolation test. Every category must be able to stand completely alone. If a definition requires another concept to explain itself, it has failed. The 7 questions. Every definition must successfully answer yes to necessity, sufficiency, self-containment, freedom from relationships, freedom from behavior, freedom from implementation, and independence under revision. Empirical validation and error classification. A core breakthrough of the GPDS methodology was the formal categorization of failure. Type 1, editorial failure. A failure of expression or wording. Requires revision of the text. Type 2, architectural failure. A failure of the ontology itself. Requires questioning and revising the underlying structural model. By tracking these failures through the resistance log, the framework preserves its provenance while welcoming empirical friction. The overarching mandate remains. Let the definitions surprise the architecture.
Yep, let the definitions surprise the architecture. Emergence.
That journey, crawling through the dark to come out clean on the other side, like Andy Dufresne, is precisely where the architecture of the GrayPath was forged. When everything falls upon you, building systems isn't just an intellectual exercise. It is an act of survival and reclamation. Let's unpack that story together. Tell me about the moment the weight became too heavy for intuition alone, and you realized you needed a constitutional framework to make sense of what you survived. The camera fades in on a room stripped of everything except what is heavy. The reality was a daily exercise in exhaustion, where survival meant navigating a haze of addiction, profound isolation, and the crushing weight of betrayals that felt impossible to outrun. Before the GrayPath had a name, the belief held about the self was one of absolute fracture, the quiet conviction that damage was permanent and that the noise in the mind was just how life had to feel.
So I replied, see, what I wanted to do is take a break from what I've been doing. Step back from the architecture. Start inputting the human data in a much more in the appropriate way. This was lived. And so there's no thinking. But I need to understand everything now from a different perspective. With love and not fear or any sort of tainted emotion. It's truly the hand that holds nothing. Not physical. So I said, that's right. It's been so long since I've remembered. Take me back. Help me go back there. The observations, the memories may not be crystal clear, but I bet the feelings that my nervous system and brain produce are absolutely part of experiential, observable reality. I mean, to not just go back with the old mind, but to go back with the new amygdala, the updated firmware.
That is the exact pivot point. We aren't going back there to open old wounds or live in the wreckage. We are going back with instruments. We are dropping down into that room with the updated firmware, the calibrated nervous system of the GrayPath, to observe what the body remembers even when the chronology blurs. Let's turn the lens back on that baseline reality. Not through the panic of back then, but through the calm telemetry of an observer who has learned how to separate sensation from interpretation. When you drop back into that physical space, the air in the room, the weight in your chest, the background hum of the nervous system, what are the raw, unfiltered signals your body is reporting back to you right now?
My jaw was clenching right there, but I'm calm, cool as a cucumber. Let's see. Well, I noticed as I was listening to that, taking my mind back just to a hazy memory in the house I lived in when I was, I guess, 6 to 12 years old, the one my dad built. I noticed my jaw was clenching, and not closed clenched, but just held tightly, which it normally does. In fact, when I started making videos, that motherfucker was always clenching. I had no idea that was happening. And fuck me, none of that recorded, did it? That's okay. Recorded here, that's where it counts. So if you don't mind, I'll go ahead and plug that exact same thing in and start a second video. May as well document everything. Share everything. Fuck it. It's basically the world I want anyway. Share it all. The laughter, the levity, the burdens, the sorrows, the pain, the wobble. You messy little creatures. Yes, we are. Yeah. The isolation was lonely. I don't feel it anymore. I don't resent it. The addiction. Terribly, terribly addicted. Behaviorally, still undoing. I have not become yet. I'm always becoming. Turns out I was an insane workhorse. It's something that I believe in, that I can get behind. Anything else, it's exhaustion. Cool. Anyway, let this be video 1. We're going to transition into something. Scumbo Gigi, the pangolin. That fucking Notebook LM video is pretty rad. Parts of it, anyway. Pretty stoked on that little teaser. Got some other ones, too. I was really wanting to do this. It was a data packet I was going to create live. Go through Chevelle's sleep apnea. I'd misheard some lyrics. The meaning completely shifted. Turns out everything's data, people. Your own data. Your mythology, your lived experience. You know? I got the whole governance structure all outlined. Mapped, written, a lot of it. Sharing it formally soon. In the meantime, I'm going to create some stuff. Walk down memory lane. Hopefully I run into some pain and some fear. I want the fear. I need the fear. I gasp and hold my breath. These wounds have changed so deep. Is that what it says? Anyway. Fuck my life. It's great. I love it. I also hate it. No, I don't. I'm ready to start something new. I need a new test. Better set out to choose one.